Pokemon is one of the biggest franchises in the entire world, and has made up a big part of my life, playing it all the way since I was a fucking toddler until now as an adult. But everything in life is flawed in one way or another, and today we're going to be going over my least favourite thing about every single generation of Pokemon. As a disclaimer, I love these games so much, and I could easily yap about the best things, which I plan on doing in the future. Gen 1. This was the hardest and the easiest to pick something from. The hardest because there's so many bad things about these games, because they are so old and flawed, because they were the first in the series and made years and years and years ago. That's also why it's easy. I've narrowed it down to a few things, being there was an inventory limit, every move in the game has a 1 in 256 chance of missing regardless of the accuracy, and the speed stat was basically the only thing that mattered because it affected your crit rate. Like, not actually, but I mean, kind of. And then as I was sitting there thinking of which one I wanted to rank as my least favourite thing, I realised something. I've hardly ever played through the original Red and Blue, Green, Yellow, because there's not much point to these days. I feel like you may as well just play Fire Red, Leaf Green, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. But I guess that's not really a Gen 1 issue, it's more of a later issue, so inventory limit is annoying. Gen 2, another very easy one. The worst part of Gen 2 is the absolute mess of teams that you find throughout the game, including gym leaders and Elite Four members, and the fucking levels being all over the place. Like, just look at some of this shit, man. Let's be fair and use one of my favourite examples. Jasmine. She's using a brand new type in Steel as her thing. So what does she have? 2 Magnemite and a Steelix. Not even a Magneton or any other new Pokemon apart from Steelix, just 2 Magnemite and a Steelix. Like, what the fuck? And then Gym 6's highest level Pokemon is 35 and Gym 7's is 31? Like, what the fuck? Come on, man, that doesn't make any sense. Up the levels. Let's get up there. Gen 3 was probably the one I had the most trouble with because, admittedly, these games are a little bit before my time. I started with Gen 4. I mean, I probably played Gen 3 games first on, like, my older brother's, like, GBA or something. But, like, the games I remember playing as a kid was Gen 4. And I've only gone back to play Gen 3 as, like, Nuzlocke or difficulty hacks or things like that. But I think the worst things are either the match call feature in Emerald or Poochyena, Zigzagoon, and or Ralts near the beginning of the game can be shiny. That's kind of shit. Yeah. I don't know. If you guys can think of anything, let me know in the comments. Editing wisp here. I meant the, like, the Poochyena that's fighting Birch and the, Ralts that are fighting Wally, not the fact that Poochyena and Ralts can be shiny. That's pretty cool. It's just the ones that are forced that can be shiny. Yeah, you get it. Gen 4, the first one I ever played, and maybe my favourite I don't really know. I need to figure out what my favourite Pokemon game is, because I don't even know. But anyway, the worst things about Gen 4 are the HP bars and limited amount of fire types in Diamond and Pearl, but that's solved by Platinum, so it can't really be the worst thing, and Platinum kind of makes Diamond and Pearl obsolete, because I don't know why you'd bother playing them over Platinum, so that could be the worst thing. But something I realised, playing Heart Gold and Soul Silver, like the other day, is the saving a lot of data feature. You save after like 2 seconds of playing, it's like, saving a lot of data. And then you have to sit there for so long while it saves. So honestly, that's the worst part of these games. It's awful. The worst part of Gen 5 is obviously everything, because I am an angry Redditor from like 2009 or some shit. Obviously, I'm just kidding. I really like Gen 5. The worst thing about Gen 5 is either how shit Gen 5 OU is, or just the amount of forgettable Pokemon. I'm gonna go with the latter option, because the OU being bad is kinda not really the game's fault, per se. But things like Bouffalant, Heatmor, Alomomola, these random, like, one-stage Pokemon that just appear, and I don't dislike them. I think Heatmor's kinda cool. I don't hate Alomomola. Bouffalant is, it's a Pokemon. Just these bunch of Pokemon that really forgettable and a bit shit. Like Ordino, I think she had a part in the anime, but I didn't really watch it. I'm sure there's a bunch of others. I'll put them on screen now. Pokemon I just think are just a bit meh and deserve more love more than meh. Things like Heatmor, you can get it at the very end of the game. It's cool. It's a fire anteater. That's pretty cool. But, I don't know, give him a Mega. Give him a Mega Heatmor, let's go. Gen 6. Say it with me, guys. The games were too easy.
Boring.
Now, I have a bone to pick with this. I remember playing Pokemon X as... I don't know how old I was. I think under 10. But, God, these games were easy. I remember as a kid, as a little-ass kid, so you can't make the excuse, oh, you're just an adult now and they're made for kids. No, I was a kid. I don't think I blacked out a single time. But that isn't the worst part of the game. That's just a side rant. The worst part of the game is the amount of unused area and missed potential. Like, I remember back then, I was getting so hyped for Pokemon Z, and like, the whole thing with AZ and the power plant being unused, and like, what could all this mean? And it's like, new Tyranitar Tube lore video dropped, and then they didn't do anything. So, that sucked. At least we're getting ZA though, so that should be pretty cool. I'm very excited for those games. Gen 7, I'm gonna be honest, I did not like Gen 7 much when it came out, and I still don't like it that much. I've replayed through basically every Pokemon game recently, which is kind of why I wanted to make this video. And I enjoyed playing Ultra Sun and Moon. I didn't play regular Sun and Moon because I don't see a point after Awesome. The worst thing was either the trials, just... I get they tried something new, but there's a reason they didn't go back, okay? They weren't as good as the gyms. The disgusting amount of text, because, like, you know, the story's great and all, but fuck me, I'm just sitting there clicking A. It's like, I know what happens, so, I mean, the replayability isn't as good. But the worst thing about Gen 7 is we had the beautiful PSS system. Mwah, perfection. And then we have fucking Festival Plaza. Like, what, why? Gen 8, Dexit kind of sucked, but, like, I don't know. I'm used to it now. The worst part about Gen 8 was the DLC. The DLC wasn't fun, it wasn't really good, and it kind of just sets a precedent for the future where we're going to have to buy DLC for the rest of our lives. So, that's sick. I mean, it's working. I bought all of them, so fuck it. More power to you, Mr. Game Freak Nintendo. Gen 9! The worst part about Gen 9 is the performance of the game. Oh, hey, that was an abrupt end to the video. It's definitely not like the audio file corrupted or anything, and I thought it would be funny to just leave it like that. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, let me know down below with a like, a comment, maybe even one of those little subscription things to show me that you want to see more content like this, and to see the video where I rank my favourite things about each generation in the future, which, I mean, I'll probably do anyway, let's be real. This video took a hell of a long time to edit. I didn't think it would take this long, but it did. So I'd really appreciate it if you could show some support. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.